Omar bin Hassan with us, the CEO of Haball, one of the biggest round of funding in the Pakistani ecosystem. As a Pakistani startup, how and when did you think that it's the right time to expand out of Pakistan?
So, two factors. I don't think there is the right time. It's just that it's a situation. I think 2022 till 24, we all know Pakistan faced a very tough economic situation. It's probably as bad as 1971 and 72 probably was. And that was one trigger where some of the board members and myself, we all sort of got together, and we were hearing about Saudi, how it's booming, or Qatar, or other GCC countries springing up, or even Southeast Asia. And we thought that how do we de-risk ourselves from the Pakistani short boom bust cycles?
Exactly.
Because that's not gonna change. We've learned to accept and embrace our asymmetry. There is a lot of volatility in this space that presents a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurs and for businessmen. I have, over the last 7-8 years, I hope I have, trained myself to deal with those asymmetries, that things will not be linear. And
like two speeds in one country.
Yeah. So, some decision made in Islamabad or some decision made in outside Pakistan is impacting your business cycle. It's impacting your timelines, your time to market, your commercials. So all of those things, I think, really made us look outside as well, that we should, while we're centered in Pakistan, this is, like I said, it's just 2%. Why would we look anywhere else?
Right.
But it has its own pace, it has its own dynamics.
That you cannot shrink.
We're ready for it. We're dealing with it. We have the resources and the bandwidth to deal with all of that. But in parallel, we need to explore opportunities where it's the market is at a higher price point and the market is more stable. There's more political and economic stability, so you can predict where the market goes in the next 5 or 7 or 10 years. Whereas over here, we have growth and then things heat up and then it crashes. And cyclically, at least in my professional career, I've at least seen 6 or 7 of these now. So 7 crises in the last 18 years is a lot. And that's why you have to figure out how do you de-risk yourself. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is, of course, countries like Saudi, they're
it's happening.
happening.
We cannot close our eyes
to it. It's the
to
new
it.
Europe. It's where everyone's sort of coming in and trying to develop that market. They have a very small population, but it's a very large landmass. But which means that there will be a lot of investment coming into infrastructure, into supply chain development, and once that is happening, there is definitely a need of liquidity. And we all know that within the Saudi capital markets or the financial markets, there is a tightening around liquidity because the government has sort of absorbed all liquidity, which is a classical environment for supply chain financing interventions. And that's exactly what we're exploring.
So you come as the solution for this
Hopefully,
tight market.
Hopefully, inshallah.
And what are the recipe to fund like such an expansion? I know cash is king to fund an expansion or growth.
Yeah.
What are the recipe of Haball?
Well, the short answer is yes, cash to fund the commercial scale. But you have to understand that we're not building something here. We have to maybe localize it to their regulatory environment or to the nuances of Saudi, maybe the language. But it's not, we're not doing capital expenditure because we already did it in a tougher market. We've gone through 3 or 4 years of financing cycles, so the credit predictability and sort of aging into our system and our ability as an institution to respond to the highs and the lows is already there. That's institutional memory, that's intellectual property, that's tech and platform that already exists. So Saudi is really about the cash, and the funding is really for commercial operations. Finding the right partner who can help us access the market, finding the right team that can deliver the product, and then basically using the product that we already have. We've already built it. If it works for Procter & Gamble Pakistan, it works for Procter & Gamble Saudi. It's
definitely
the same process, it's the same tech. So
the localization will be like at 10% maybe on the product,
10,
or something?
20%.
10-20%.
10-20%. You see, AOFI, which is the Islamic Sharia standards, banking standards are all governed by standards from Basel to IFRS, how accounting is done, or the ISO standards, how payments are transmitted. All of these are now global standards. So whether you're in Pakistan or Morocco or Egypt or Berlin, it's all the same. There are nuances that are specific to that country, but the tech is essentially now the same.
Okay. Any surprises or challenges that you didn't expect when entering Saudi so far? I know that you are planning to enter other new market, but Saudi now you kind of know what's happening.
Yeah, so I think surprises, I mean, there are lots of positive surprises. Positive surprises is that you would expect that with a country that is resource rich, that certain problems wouldn't just exist, like the one that I mentioned, that they would have a liquidity problem. Could you relate that to the Saudi market, that they would have a liquidity problem? Maybe it's a temporary situation, but it exists right now. It's
real.
And it's gonna stay for as long as they are in the infrastructural development.
Right.
They're building new cities. They have these giga projects, so that's gonna stay.
Right? Pumping
because
the money.
It's drawing out the liquidity that's needed for the segments.
Right.
So that obviously was a positive surprise. I'm not taking that as a negative surprise. The other positive surprise was that the supply chain financing opportunity specifically is very large over there, and the margins are also way better than Pakistan. It's a fairly well-priced market compared to Pakistan, which is a very low-priced market. So that again is a positive surprise. The only challenge that I felt so far, and again this is very early in our discovery or sort of planning phase, is that it is a market where having local presence, ingress, local representatives, Saudi skin really makes a difference. Just being a brand that worked in Pakistan or works in China and landing over there is probably not the right strategy or the first step. You have to be anchored in with people who are well entrenched and Saudi. So that's something that is a surprise. In Pakistan, we've seen a lot of other companies come in without having a Pakistani. Yes, they have Pakistani employees, but maybe the ownership structure is entirely foreign, and they still do so well. All of these big brands. But over there, I felt that at least in the fintech space, because fintechs are regulated, regulators need to know who these people are. They want to be able to trust you. The same rules apply in Pakistan as well. That we want to trust who's running our payment systems, who's running our banks. Right. So that obviously the barrier over there is fairly high. That you have to be able to produce a well-pegged Saudi skin or anchor or partner
team
who can really help you navigate and scale your product.
How did you do it?
We're still doing it, so we're still evaluating some of those options right now. So we haven't really done it.
It's still on the way.
In the next podcast, maybe we can talk about whether we did it successfully or not. But at this point in time, we're discovering that.
Right. What must founders consider maybe before expanding to the GCC market? You think just before stepping in, what do you think they should maybe?
I think the home country absolutely has to be positive. You should have crossed the inflection point. You have tested in your home country,
right?
Our reason for looking in the other space was because we had the capability to do that, and yes, we crossed all of those milestones. But if you haven't found product market fit, if you haven't crossed your inflection point, if you're not sort of revenue positive, then it's probably dangerous that you're attempting this. Unless you're shutting down over here and you're exploring a new market, or you're pivoting into a new geography, then it's a separate sort of story. But I think if it is working out for you in one country, this multi-country strategy in like 2 or 3 years, I feel that's very risky. I know some people have done that successfully, but I don't think any Pakistani company has done that successfully yet.
They're
trying. But I think we still have to wait and see if that really works.